Cooking this is becoming really a dangerous job here. Woo! Coming up, what do I think about Gordon Ramsay's recipe? The taste rating for this is gonna be an hey you, welcome back. Don't you hate when you make a recipe and you get left over with a bunch of an ingredient that you needed just a little bit? And that's what's happened to me with this mascarpone cheese. I needed only 80 grams of this for a cannelloni recipe I made the other day. And now I'm looking for a way to use up all of this mascarpone. And I think I found it in Gordon Ramsay's Quick and Delicious Cookbook. Let's get into it. I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat, and I'm excited about making this dish. Let's go. Let's get our mise en place covered here so that we understand what's in the recipe. We're gonna be doing 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We're gonna have a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I just have a mixed herb seasoning. I didn't have exactly Italian. We're gonna have a little bit of basil. Forgive my basil, it looks like it's dying a little bit. Just a little bit of fresh basil, 3 garlic cloves, 1 large onion, 200 grams of mascarpone cheese, 100 grams of sun-blushed tomatoes. Now, I didn't know exactly what that was. I thought maybe it was a type of cherry tomato, but really it's a dried tomato that's just a little bit more moist. So you can get sun-dried tomatoes. What I did for these was I just took some cherry tomatoes, cut them up, I threw them in a pan, added some thyme, a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, and I just put them in the oven at a low temp for maybe about an hour or so. We're just gonna need about 20 grams of Parmigiano Reggiano, 200 milliliters of chicken stock, 1 400-gram container of chopped tomatoes, 250 grams of smoked bacon or pancetta. I couldn't find pancetta, so I just grabbed smoked bacon. You wanna grab a big piece like this. You don't really want the sliced bacon. You want one that we can make lardons out of. And then 400 grams of rigatoni. So this is all really easy. Let's get cooking. Okay, this is the last of this. Looking pretty good. All right, so I'm getting a pan onto like a medium heat. You wanna make sure that you get a pan that's gonna be big enough for you to put all of the rest of the ingredients in, all of those tomatoes, the bacon and the bacon or pancetta, and then most likely we're gonna be tossing the pasta in here later. If the pasta's not gonna fit in here, I can use something else, but at least this pan will be good enough for our sauce. You can go ahead and add the olive oil, which initially I would think that if I'm cooking pancetta or bacon into the pan, I wouldn't need to add any oil, but that's what the recipe says, so that's what we're gonna do. This is hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the bacon here. Now, this is interesting to me because the recipe says it's only gonna take 3 or 4 minutes. So that makes me concerned maybe I didn't cut these small enough, but we want them to be nice and brown and crispy. I wanna cut 1 large onion here. This is just a pasta, so just an easy cut. Make sure we're good. No big pieces in here. All right, that looks nice. You can really hear that bacon popping. Woo! Watch out. This is becoming really a dangerous job here. Woo! Looking good. There's so much fat in here. I'm a little concerned with that. But what I want to do is I want to take out a little bit of this and put it to the side here. Onto a paper towel to drain. Just a couple spoonfuls. There we go. Just a couple spoonfuls to the side to drain that we're gonna put on top of the pasta later. if all of this fat in here is correct. Man, do I want to adjust this recipe? I'm gonna take some of this fat out. I don't want to eat all that. I removed about 50% of the pork fat that was in here. The recipe doesn't say for us to do that, but this is also supposed to be cooked with pancetta, so maybe it would leak less fat. It does suggest that you can do it with bacon, so, but I'm just gonna make the call. I'm gonna take this out. I don't think that we wanna have all of this in our pasta. I am losing this pork fat battle. I have to clean everything. I gotta clean the camera, the floor, the cutting board, everything. Go to do this at home. Cover that pan. Do not mess up your house like I have messed up this kitchen. I just got my ass kicked by pork fat. Cover this pan when you do it. Oh my God. All right, cleanup is over. Let's go ahead and get our fire back on. Get this pan heated back up, and I'm gonna go ahead and add these onions to the pan. This is getting hot again. Go ahead and add our onions. We just want to cook these in here until they are soft. I've gone ahead and cut up my garlic here, nice and small. It's, don't worry too much about it. This is just a nice, easy, small cut. You know, you got the kids running around begging for your attention and you're just trying to knock out a quick pasta for the family to eat dinner. So this looks great. We're cutting that garlic. The onions have just been cooking in this bacon fat here. We just want to get these nice and soft. I'll give them a minute or two more before I decide to add the garlic in here. I just added my garlic, and the recipe wants us to cook this for just 2 minutes with that garlic added in there. This is looking really good. It smells really good. I think we made the right decision in removing a lot of that pork fat that was in there, that bacon fat. This is looking good. Our garlic has been cooking in here for 2 minutes. Onions look nice and soft. I tried not to get any color on that, but I did get a little bit. It should be all right. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and go in with that teaspoon of Italian herbs. We're gonna go in with our dried tomatoes. The 400 grams of chopped tomatoes, canned. And our chicken stock. Last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and add that mascarpone cheese that we've been trying to use up. The whole point of this recipe. 200 grams of that in there. So we've gotten this to come up to a simmer, and we want to let this simmer for about 10 minutes or till it's like thickened up. And don't worry, we'll be able to add a little pasta water to that. While this is simmering away for that 10 minutes, we want to go ahead and get our pasta water on. Go ahead and season it like the sea. And watch pot never boils, so get our lid on there. This has been simmering away here, so I just want to make sure we give it a nice stir because it will stick to the bottom. But not least, I'm going to go ahead and get this Parmigiano Reggiano grated up. I only need 20 grams plus a little bit extra to garnish with. Just been simmering away here. Want to make sure I give that a stir because that is wanting to stick to the bottom here. I could probably even turn this down a little bit if I can without this burner going off. Looks like I got it at a temp, so I just want to go lower here, and I'm only gonna let this simmer for a few more minutes. I'd say a couple more minutes, actually. You can really see how this has reduced down and thickened up. I think this is where we want to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off now, and we'll wait to cook our rigatoni. We're at a boil. Time for us to add our rigatoni. 400 grams, right in there. Give it a nice stir. Just wanted to make sure I added enough salt to this. Well, not enough. Huh. I thought I added a lot. Well, there we go. Rigatoni has been cooking for 11 minutes, which is what it says on the timer. So let's see. This is al dente. It seems so, yes. That is good. So let's get it off the stove. And I'll be sure to reserve some of this cooking liquid. Might be a bit of a fool here, but I am going to try and add this rigatoni into this pan that we have, just to try to keep it in one, not dirty any more pans. Ooh, it's looking close. All right, let's get this in here. Get it mixed up carefully. This is a little silly, so let's just go in with my pot that I used to cook the spaghetti. Cook the rigatoni, not spaghetti. It's in here. Ooh, mixing that up nicely. This looks good. I'll give it a little splash of that pasta water. Loosen it up. Oh, wow. It smells so good. And it's time for us to add that Parmesan cheese and some of my wilted dying basil. And we'll go ahead and mix this up. Taste it for a little bit of salt and see if we want to add some black pepper. A little touch more. And some of that black pepper. And go with some of that Parmesan cheese on top. And some of that bacon or pancetta that we set aside earlier. And that looks good. So here we go. And today I don't have the picture of the actual dish from the book on Kindle. I have it on my phone. And that's one of the great things about having these books on Kindle. You could just be at the store and be like, oh, I think I was gonna make that. Hold on, let me see what the recipe is, and grab it. And you have it right there on your Kindle app on your iPhone or Samsung, whatever it is you use. But let's get eating. That's what matters here. Ooh. It's creamy. This is very light. This is a lot lighter than I thought it was gonna be, and I like that. I think sometimes, like I love lasagna. Lasagna is delicious. Sometimes when you go to eat a lasagna after like the third or fourth bite, you're like, oh my God, this is so too much. I can sit here and eat a whole bowl of this and probably have no problem because it's just so light and so nice. I'm really enjoying it. I think it would be even better with pancetta. Mascarpone and the tomatoes just go so nicely together in here. Both of them bringing a very nice, not overwhelming flavor. I wish I had a little bit of a better bacon. I don't think that I had a great bacon. It's just what I have to work with where I live. But either way, it's very nice. But I just wish it was a little bit better, a little bit more powerful. The taste rating for this is gonna be an 8 out of 10. And I'm gonna say that I don't think that this right here is an 8 out of 10. I think it would be an 8 out of 10 if I use pancetta or a better bacon. There is just a little bit of a flavor component missing, and I just know that I don't have great smoked bacon available to me. And I think pancetta would have really killed it in this recipe. Everything else, that creaminess of the mascarpone and the tomato, the background tomato flavor with that crushed canned tomato and then that also dry tomato, it just really kills it. It just really needs, I feel, that bang of that bacon in here. But this is a good dish. 8 out of 10, I would say. Pita rating, is this a pain in the ass? This was super easy to do. The only pita rating score that I'm gonna deduct, is the bacon attack, the attack of the bacon grease. 9 out of 10 because you're gonna have to deal with that. Use a lid, don't do like me. Just put a lid over it. I wish I had done that. I'm gonna have a lot of cleanup today. That's not the recipe's fault, that's on me, but I'm still gonna take a point because while I did it making this recipe and it didn't tell me to cover my bacon. So 9 out of 10, guys. This is really easy, affordable. I think that you can make this at home tomorrow and you'd be happy, especially if you have leftover mascarpone. So that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.